The three MPs here in the Northwest are reacting to some controversial comments made by federal Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault last week.
Guilbeault told the Montreal Gazette that the federal government won't pay for more roads. He's since backtracked on that, however, and Federal Cabinet Minister Patty Hajdu insists her government will continue to support new road infrastructure in the region. Lee Noonan has more.
The federal Liberals have come under fire for a comment made by Environment Minister Stephen Guilbeault, who said there would be no more funding from Ottawa to enlarge Canada's road network. Kenora Conservative MP Eric Melillo says with frequent accidents and closures, the Trans-Canada Highway needs to be twinned, and he says it is, quote, extremely concerning the government will no longer be funding new roads. However, Guilbeault has since walked back his comments.
We still have funds, obviously, to maintain and enhance our road network across the country. But I was talking specifically about projects like the Troisième Lien that the CAQ government in Quebec wants to move forward with.
According to Guilbeault, his initial comment was in reference to major urban centres where investments could be made instead on green transportation infrastructure like passenger rail. That's something Thunder Bay Rainy River MP Marcus Pulowski says he's a big fan of.
I think the government quite rightly wants to be putting more resources into those kind of environmentally friendly forms of transportation, which, being from a place which produces most of the mass transit cars in Canada, I'm certainly in favor of. But the reality is in Northern Ontario, we're going to be dependent on the cars for a while.
Patty Hajdu, Minister for FedNor and Indigenous Services, says the ongoing work to build twinned or 2+1 lane highways is key to road safety in this region.
I want to reassure all Northern Ontarians that we continue to have our eye on investing in transportation routes in Northern Ontario that includes roads.
Meanwhile, Hajdu says she's in active conversations about possible construction of an all-season road network connecting remote First Nations.
The ice road season is getting shorter and shorter and precarious at that. And so, for example, if we're going to be building up infrastructure in First Nations, and the infrastructure gap is huge. So communities need new schools, they need new community centers, housing is aging and needs to be either renovated or replaced. Well, all that takes stuff, and stuff has to get up to those communities, and transporting stuff by air is extremely expensive.
With long distances and challenging terrain between the isolated First Nations in the region, Hajdu says the construction of an all-season road network would mean a massive investment. Lee Noonan, TBT News.